Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? And I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. And today we are here with Jace to actually show you a bit of insight in something really interesting. So yeah, we go in to in general check out the Warp game and see what is it all about. But yeah, can you tell us a bit more about yourself and the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my user handles call me Jace, but my real name is Joel. I don't know why I had that handle. It's just always what I've had. So you guys can call me Joel. Other people call me Jace. Yeah, my background, I worked in Los Angeles in the film industry for about 10 years. I worked on like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, America, the First Avengers, and then America, the First Avengers. I don't know why I said that. It's Captain America and the First Avengers. And then pivoted from that to start working in VR development. So I ran and owned a VR development company in the early days of VR. From the Oculus DK1 all the way up to the HTC Vive and the final Oculus release into the Oculus Quest. And that was really fun, really cool, fun to be on the cutting edge of technology there. And then because I think I really like the combination of technology and creativity and development technology, that's what kind of brought me into the crypto space. But I'm just one. I'm one of 5 members in our development team for Warp. There is Dead Poet. He manages. His background's crazy. He came from like multi-million-dollar TV deals, so he handled TV negotiations between like the Olympics and Eurovision and ESPN with other TV providers. So he's done like huge contracts with ridiculous amounts of money, and now he works on our team. We also have our own in-house dev team, which does all of our smart contracts in-house, as well as all of our front end and our game development is all done in-house with Travis Daly as our lead dev, and Jordan, he does all of our front end. And then the final member of our core team is Pete, and he's our mathematician. He's a world-class economist. He goes in and understands the tokenomics, how things work. He can create algorithms and simulations, 10 years in the future of tokenomic behavior. And so he's able to be kind of our check and balance to make sure that the entire project is going to be sustainable in the long run. So then we mix that also with the rest of our team, with marketing. We have a team on marketing. We have business outreach, partnerships. We have our own in-house moderator team, and then our advisors. There's 13 of us total. Which is a pretty decent team size to be working full-time in crypto, but I couldn't be happier with the team. We've all been working together over a year now, and it's been, time flies. It's really cool. I really love the team.
Yeah, it sounds really nice that you guys all come from a bit various backgrounds, but it all brought you together. But what gave you the idea of creating this project? What inspired you?
Yeah, all of us have been working for another project. It was a long-term staking project, and we were in that space kind of building that entire thing. We're going, okay, we want to launch our own game, like our GameFi game ecosystem project. And I'm a huge nerd. I love everything sci-fi. You talk about spaceships in the future, and I'm like 100% in. So I was heavily involved at the beginning going, we need to create a sci-fi game environment. And we knew we wanted to hit a couple metrics. We wanted it to be multi-chain. That was really important for us to have multi-chain communities who could all come together on one place. We wanted generative Starship NFTs. That's my background. I did all the 3D work on that. So each one of our Starships, all the visuals that you see in the game are all, that's all done by me. We wanted it to be really focused around like building, upgrading, and growing NFTs. A lot of these projects that are out there, they have like one game or one game ecosystem. It's a racing game or a fighting game or a mining game or something. What we built is we built a Starship Starship fleet game, in a sense, where you get your Starship NFT, and then there's all kinds of variety of game experiences all around those Starship NFTs. So we have like in season 2 of Warp, which is about to launch, we have our battle arena where you're battling other players, or battling AI pirates, the battle arcade where it's like real-time multiplayer game, and then we have our expeditions where you send your Starships out on quests, and then we are launching in season 2.5 our racing, where you'll be able to race Starships and bet on other people racing, and that's just kind of the season 2 ecosystem. And beyond, we have idle mining in season 3, fleet battles, faction battles, and everything all revolves kind of around these Starships themselves. And that was really core for us as a project, was we want to build a game of games and not just a single experience. And we wanted to roll it out iteratively in seasons so that our users kind of always had something to do and something new on the horizon. And it wasn't 8 months or a year of development out. It was like, oh, this is coming in a couple weeks. So yeah, that's kind of the core components that we wanted to hit. And now we're in season 2, getting ready to launch, and it's really exciting. It's an exciting time for us.
Yeah, and I imagine all of the other seasons to come also going to be exciting, just seeing how passionate you are about it. And of course, the visuals is something, especially in a sci-fi game, that definitely is going to attract a lot of people. But once, all these people come together, what do they need to actually play the Warp game? And how much NFT is required for it?
Yeah, totally. It's a great question. So right now, I guess the answer depends on when you're watching this video. Before we launch season 2, we're doing a pre-sale for people to buy in and get season 2 Starship NFTs, not only at a discount but an extra strength. They also have a boost multiplier. Talk about that in a second. But otherwise, if you're coming in after the pre-sale, then coming into our game universe, coming to our factory where you can buy a brand new Starship that you customize and create at the time of building it, or we have our own built-in shipyard, which is our OpenSea in a sense. It's our own NFT marketplace. You can always buy and sell NFTs on the NFT platform of your choice, but the shipyard is really cool because you can sort by attributes that are specific for the game. So how much experience a ship has, how much fuel it has, how much what attribute or what archetype of ship you want, and then you can purchase that ship at a discount from another user directly who's selling it. And the cool thing, because we're in multi-chain environment, we're on a lot of EVM chains, so we're going to have we actually do have Starships that are listed for sale on BSC, on Polygon, on Phantom, on Ethereum, and they're all listed in the same place. So you'll be able to come to the shipyard and say, oh, there's a user selling a Starship on Polygon. I'm going to switch my network and buy it. And then through our Warp Gate, which is our interchain, a multi-chain kind of Starship NFT sender, you can send that Starship from Polygon back over to BSC where your fleet is, or you can leave it on Polygon because we're bringing together every network all under one roof. So it doesn't matter what network you're on, where your Starship NFT is virtually located, you'll still be able to play the game. So we have people on BSC battling people on Avalanche, battling people on Polygon, stuff like that. And that's really cool. It's really cool for us. So you do need to have a Starship NFT. We have a really exciting announcement regarding our new Pioneer class Starships. I can't announce it yet. That's going to be coming after our season 2 launch. That will really help lower the barrier of entry. Also introducing ship rentals, so you'll be able to pay a couple of dollars, rent a Starship for a day, try out the ecosystem, and then you'll return that Starship will be returned at the end of that rental period. But really, what we're trying to help our users understand is that when you're buying a Starship, you really are buying an investment. That Starship is the investment, and it's something that you hold on to. So we're launching season 2 here in just a couple short weeks, but then we have plans all the way up through season 5 and beyond. And each one of these seasons revolves around the ship. Ships will never be outmoded. They'll never, they're never going to go away. We have people from season 1 who bought and built and upgraded their Starships. Those Starships are coming into season 2, and you'll always be able to continue to use your ships. And every upgrade and investment you put in your ship will carry forward, regardless of what the rest of the season's looking like. We're never going to make the ships obsolete because it's your ship, So people can buy and sell the token, they can trade the credits, they can, do all that stuff. But we really want people to feel like they're investing in a ship that's going to grow with them. And so because of that, there is a little bit of a barrier to entry. I think right now, if you wanted a base level Starship that you buy from the factory, as in you don't buy it from another user, that'll be about $100. Actually, it is $100 flat to get a base level Starship, which like as a gamer, I know that's a little bit to ask, especially in crypto and the bear markets and stuff. I was spending $100 on a Starship, but also this is something that's going to grow with you. And one of the biggest things, and something we're super excited about for season 1, is that every Starship NFT that you own, from a base one to a super crazy upgraded one, earns you free daily credits that you can use inside the ecosystem. So if you've bought a $100 Starship, that Starship is earning you $1 a day in credits, which you can use to buy fuel. You can use it to bid in the battle arena and battle against some other player for that dollar, and they match your dollar, and then you can withdraw those as tokens. You can use it to upgrade your Starship part. So let's just say, you have $1 per day. You buy some upgrades for your ship gets stronger. Well, the stronger your ship, the more credits it earns each day. So you might have a Starship that now earns $2 to $5 to $10, $15 a day. And as that Starship continues to grow and upgrade, it's earning you more credits that you can spend in the ecosystem. So for a user who wants to come in, they don't even have to buy it and use our token. They can literally buy a Starship, and then they can start playing, immediately claiming that credit, and start, every day they come back and they're claiming that credit and they're using it in the ecosystem, and you don't have to buy the token. You can literally do everything straight from the revenue that ship is generating for you. So it's really cool. It's a really cool ecosystem. You do have to have a Starship right now. That won't always be the case. Right now, you do have to buy a Starship. But again, it's a good investment for what we're doing and where we're growing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that it's
how's that for a long answer?
It's fine. It's all right. We like long answers. But yeah, I think it's really accessible, of Warp to actually be on so many different chains. And on top of that, even though you have to, of course, give the initial investment to get the ship, you can also rent it or buy it from another player, which is really fantastic. And then once you get the ship, of course, that basically just works for itself. So yeah, as you said, there's a great investment in it. But are you guys planning to move into mobile versions as well? Of course, since the Starships from season 1 is still available later on, and would they also be available in the mobile version if one comes?
Yeah. So everything that we're building in our our interface,
Mm-hmm.
our ecosystem is mobile ready.
Cool.
We're building on a web platform. We're using Phaser.js, which is a JavaScript-based game engine, along with React. So everything that we're doing is responsive, and it works well on mobile as well as tablets and desktops.
Yeah.
And so what that means is, yes, you do need to have a app or a wallet that can connect via a mobile web browser like MetaMask or whatever, to then be able to sign a transaction to log into your account, because we're not creating centralized accounts. You're using your wallet address and a signed transaction as your login. If you can do that, then yeah, you can access this anywhere. As far as future expansions, yes, absolutely. We're actually looking into creating specific mobile games that can be used to reach new target audiences and then bring them into the larger Warp ecosystem. And that won't require a wallet connection, won't require a blockchain connection, but it does increase our exposure. But the cool thing, what we're doing with we call it our Web 2.5 interface, where we have Web 2 and Web 3 coexisting simultaneously. That's also what allows us to be multi-chain. The Primus Station architecture that we've built allows for those gasless transactions. So if you are battling other players or you're upgrading your Starships, the cool thing is that the database that manages all of that is also connected to the blockchain. So let's say you have a Starship with 1,000 strength in your engine, you get an upgrade that changes it to 1,200 strength on your engine. Well, if you go to OpenSea and look at that NFT, you're going to see that NFT value has updated from 1,000 to 1,200, but you didn't pay any gas to upgrade that NFT. That's because we've integrated our ecosystems to allow users to see both on-chain and off-chain data all in kind of one place. So the cool thing is that all of that data is accessible, kind of regardless of what device you're using, and it also permeates out all the way to blockchain transactions. So then if you are sending an NFT to another user, sending it to another wallet, or a user is buying that NFT on OpenSea or whatever it is, all that data actually migrates to the new wallet, and then the user can then upgrade their Starship and earn experience and refuel and repair and all those sort of things. So it's cool because we don't really have like the limitations of needing a user to like run a game in Unity, for example. Unity or Phaser.js can be really cool, but oftentimes you need to have kind of a more modern phone or tablet or PC in order to be able to run kind of these more FX heavy games. We don't have that issue because we're running very lightweight. A lot of stuff is images and graphics. I can actually show off the station now if you want me to share the screen and kind of give people a preview of what it looks like.
Let's have a look.
So here we go. So you can see here, part of my thing as a graphic, my background in visual effects was to create something that looked very vibrant and beautiful. And this is our starport. You can see we have cool animations on our ocean. It looks really pretty. The cool thing is we actually tell the system time from the user. So if it was daytime, it shows the daytime version. If it's nighttime, it shows a nighttime version, or you can manually toggle it here. And now we're actually in night mode of the starport. And the cool thing is as you head down into the starport, like to the battle arena, I'm just going to hide the interface here. You can see the battle arena is in its night mode, but then I can also switch over to day mode, and now here I am in kind of the daytime environment, which is really cool. So then the other cool thing is as you kind of come back out and you see kind of the map interface, all of this stuff really is super lightweight. My wife's computer is going crazy. Shut that off. There we go. I think Siri thought I was talking to it. So all of this stuff here is just running really lightweight. It's really it's not processor intensive or any of that sort of stuff. It's very easy to use. It's just map-based navigation. So kind of when I was talking about like Starships, right? So if I come down here into the factory, you can see we're now in this factory environment. If I want to buy a new ship here, you see I can choose what archetype I want. So we have all these beautifully designed shuttles, our Dragonfly class Starship. Each one of these ships all kind of has its own story. People of the Pearl. This is our pirate ship with engines bolted onto it. And then the cool thing is you can choose kind of depending on how much you want to spend, what your Starship will earn per day. You can choose different presets, but then you can kind of manually go in and say, okay, I want to like buy the reinforced afterburners, and now my engine strength is 1,900. And you can see this particular Starship when I buy it will earn me $4 a day in warp credits, which is cool. Just kind of to see what that kind of ROI is. And then depending on what chain I'm connected to, I'm connected to Binance right now. When I actually go and buy the Starship and pay the gas, it will mint it for me on Binance. But back to kind of what I was saying here, I can also go to use ships and go to the shipyard. And this is running in our alpha test environment. But these are actual users playing around in our alpha. And so you can see here's different ships that are listed, and you can see there's a couple ships here listed on Polygon, which is cool. A couple ships here that are listed on BSC. And then as we in our beta and our actual launch, when we go on Ethereum, Avalanche, Myria, all these different chains, then you'll see all those chains appearing here. The cool thing is you can sort by like a specific archetype. Like I'm looking specifically for a Pearl class Starship, and then you could say, I want it to have a minimum of, I don't know, 60 units of fuel, and then you can choose to buy that particular Starship, from that user. We also show off, the actual artwork here. So it's really cool. It's kind of a user-friendly ecosystem where we're trying to make it possible for users to really buy and sell from each other straight from within the ecosystem itself. And then, we have all of our different, here's our battle arena where you can battle other ships, racing centers coming in season 2.5 where you'll do your races. We have our expeditions hall. Actually, we're really proud of expeditions. I'll show you why. We actually have all these different classes of expeditions that you send your starships out on. And the cool thing is when you send your starship out, we give you both the details of the mission, but then also a summary. But then the cool thing is I actually did this using Stable Diffusion. It's actually AI generated images, and each one of these images here match like the mission type. So for example, if I do like fish and more fish here, you can see we have a mission, a picture from your crew showing all the boxes of fish that they were transporting. Or here when they were hired to bring artifacts from one museum planet to another, you can see here's kind of like the different pictures that are all a part of it. And each one of these were generated using AI technology, which is really cool, like artistically to be able to use that in a production environment. So like for example, right now, I don't have an eligible starship there, but let me try and find a mission that I can send out to show you. Yeah, here we go. So this particular a mission is peacekeeping force received a distress signal deep in the space between two giant systems where no warp gate tunnels existed. They discovered a damaged starship and passed its location. So I can choose which starship I want to send on its mission. In this case, I'm going to choose the Javelin. I'm going to choose how much fuel I want to burn, and then I start the expedition. And the cool thing is now this expedition has begun, but I didn't have to pay any gas for that transaction. We actually are running all of this on our cloud architecture. But when this starship returns, I will actually get all of that, all the bonuses, the benefits from it. I'm also impatient, so I'm actually going to pay a little bit extra money to send a carrier starship out, which will then bring the ship now back in 2 minutes. We can check back in on it and see like how it's doing, and then I'll be able to see the mission summary. And all of that happened now without gasless transactions. I'll show you a couple more things and then we can talk about if you have any questions. Our Galactic Bank, I actually super love the bank. This is one of my favorite buildings. I'm going to hide the interface and you can see, I did all the branding and design like as if it was a real place. You can see like the bank tower up over the top. We also have our night mode, which is really cool. So if it's nighttime, we have music right now that's playing, which I won't turn on, but you'll hear it kind of as it plays in the background. And so we built, this whole interface. So here's where you can deposit and withdraw warp credits to the station ecosystem. Here's your free claim. I'll actually go ahead and do it. So I'm going to claim my warp credits. And so you can see here's all the different starships that I have. Each one is earning a different amount of warp per day. And now that I've free claimed it, I can now go back and claim more in 23 hours. So we make it really easy for users to be able to come in, claim their starship credits. And now if I was to go back and for example, I want to go to my hangar and I want to, I can just upgrade a starship, right? So I'll just pick this particular starship and I want to come upgrade it. Now the cool thing is I can buy upgraded afterburners, which will give me a little bit extra power, apply that upgrade. Oh, I can't because I've already upgraded the ship too much. But you get the idea, right? So, and the cool thing is that we actually use your warp credits first. So whatever credits you have in your ecosystem, those are used to upgrade a part, and then you can immediately receive the value of those going forward. Refueling, so like we designed each different interface tab to show off a different part of your ship, so you can see kind of the guts and the engines behind the shuttle class starship. Or if I go and show like the Pearl, this is my personal favorite. You can see the close up of the engines where you can upgrade it. So we really took kind of a lot of time to really visualize the world in a at a larger scale. You can also see here, how much experience your starship has had, how much fuel it has, what it's currently doing, and that's cool. If you have ships out on expeditions or they're listed for battle, you can see them all in the same place. I mentioned our warp gate. I'll show this to you. This is really cool. So this right now, I have a starship here. If I want to, what I can do is then choose my destination universe that I want to send this starship to. So in this case, Polygon, I can proceed to booking. It's not going to cost me anything. We let people do it for free. Book passage. I'm not going to do this because I want my starship to stay on this network. But then what's cool is after 2 minutes, after all the blockchains have confirmed and it's good, then you'll see down here in arrivals, I can even hit this refresh button. I can switch my network over to Polygon. If it's not already, you'd see it show down here. And then I can retrieve that starship from to the Polygon network, which is cool. So you can see its current universe is BSC and Polygon. Yeah, and it's kind of neat. To some users that's a big deal. To some people it's not a big deal. But the nice thing is if I bought a ship on BSC and I want to send it to Polygon, I can do it now. Straight through the warp gate built in. which is cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, another thing I'll show off real quick is Arctic Club. This is actually going to be a season 2.5 update. We have a bunch of cool mini games and stuff that are happening in here, but I really love how the club works. I don't have the music playing, but there's like a cool electro beat that's going on, and you can just kind of see like the foundations for, this is like a place where people are coming to party. There's these big doors and stuff, and as you choose different mini games, you go into different rooms, all that sort of stuff, and it's a really cool environment. I'll go real quick back. I think it's been 2 minutes, so I'll go to expeditions and we can look at the ship. Here it is, a pending retrieval. So you can see now it says my ship has completed its mission, ready to be retrieved. So I'm going to complete that mission. Now the cool thing is you can see, hey, this is the mission picture from the crew. Here's the debrief of this particular mission. It tells me what happened, and then you can see here, this is the gems that I was rewarded. I got 124 Trigulon, which then I can use in the refinery to craft parts. The cool thing is, like, for example, if I have a starship that's earning $1 per day, now I can use that starship to add fuel, send it out on an expedition. It comes back with these minerals, and then I can go to the refinery and then use those minerals to be able to buy an upgrade for my starship. So like here, if I had advanced sensor array, right? So there's a Trigulon that I earn. I need 500. I have 1200 and fly Hittite 700, and I don't have enough yet. So I would need to do a couple more missions, but then I can craft this item, use it to upgrade my ship, which means it's stronger and better and faster and all that sort of stuff. So obviously that's kind of a brief overview, but you can see a little bit of kind of, we're really trying to build an environment where it feels like you're able to do things and be a part of the experience. This is actually a little Easter egg. Not very many people see this. We have our docking port over here. This is actually something I'm really excited about. You can see it in our tutorial video, which we'll be showing off to everybody soon. But we have our docking port, and this is where we have partner NFT projects all over the crypto space, from Ethereum to BSC and beyond. And each one of them has given us an allocation of their NFTs, as well as we've given them allocation of ours. So the docking port, we have merchant ships that will come in and dock with the starport. And then the merchant ships contain unique wares, custom NFTs, PFPs for your captain, all that sort of stuff that you can buy from the merchant ship. And when the merchant ship disappears, it's gone forever. So for users who are coming back and playing, all of a sudden they might see a giant, capital class starship docked outside the starport, and you have a very limited window to be able to buy NFTs or parts or even custom starships that we're releasing that are only available when the merchant ship is there. And then as soon as it disappears, like that's it, it's off to another place, and you're not going to see those items again. And that's really cool to kind of have that that in-game narrative of a traveling merchant ship from other multiverses, bringing in exclusive NFTs and PFPs and upgrades and parts and all that sort of stuff. So we're really excited about the partnerships that we have with all these other projects to be able to do that. So it's great. It's great exposure, for us and other parties. So there's the whole warp ecosystem in a nutshell. There you go.
That is really impressive. I really like that you putting the emphasis on science and science fiction. Because you are working together with, AI to make these beautiful graphics, but also, as you mentioned, the Web 2.5, which is also using the technology that we have now to the fullest. And I personally really like it, especially, with the cool Easter egg now and that you have put, and the whole story behind, each mission and all the ships and etc. So that's lovely. And what are the other key features Warp has that, differentiates it from all the other projects out there? And what are your competitive advantages?
Yeah. Great questions. I'd say really what sets us apart is a couple things. One, I think the visuals are really impressive, and the fact that we, like everything I just showed you here, I didn't even show you the battle arena. The battle arena is super cool. But like everything that we've done here is about to release. A lot of these projects are building these huge, gigantic multiverse games where you just have, crazy things that are happening, but it's always 3 to 6 to 24 months away. What we're building is each one of these modules, these game of games in a sense, is all built around the fact that we're releasing these things in quarterly and sometimes even weekly chunks. And so a competitive advantage is that we're not trying to build this giant metaverse where everything all has to be complete. Like, we're building modules that get added and upgraded over time. And so, for example, here in our battle arena, I'm just going to play a quick game while I'm talking to you. This is a me versus an AI ship. And so basically I'm battling this AI ship. I'm choosing where to reinforce my shields, where I want to attack. It's a very simple game. This isn't like, this isn't going to break the rules in terms of any major, much better developed sci-fi game, but it's a game that utilizes your ship, and it actually gives you experience and rewards. And it's actually fun to play. It's a little bit hard. You have to choose carefully where you're going to attack, where you're going to defend. And, it happens here like gasless. The very first version of this was running on the blockchain, and you'd submit a transaction, and then you'd have to sit and wait for a minute for the
Okay.
transaction to go through, and then wait another minute for the RPC to update, and you're like, man, this is like not that fun. And here, everything is happening pretty quickly. And so that, I think, gives us an advantage, is that
Yeah.
we're building iteratively, and we're building fun experiences that work on their own and can grow with the project, and increase in visual clarity and quality and fun and all that sort of stuff. I better freaking beat this ship. If I lose while I'm on this call, I would feel, oh,
It's
I
all
gotta
right.
win. But yeah, I think it's, oh gosh, I think it's just really a cool showcase of kind of what we can do versus some of the
Yeah,
other
for
projects
sure.
where it's, stuff is always on the horizon.
Yeah.
So then
I think.
another, oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Are you
I
serious?
just,
Oh, I lost.
it's all
Of
right.
course.
But I just wanted to say, the gasless transactions, it's a little thing really, but whenever you're playing an NFT game, really, the constant reminder you have to, pay for all the gas fees and etc. It can be really annoying and discouraging to some. Whereas in here, yeah, everything just goes quicker. There's the first thing, and it's just nicer for the user itself. So yeah, I personally love it.
And that's one of the cool things. So for example, here you can see that I sustained 3 damage in my Starship here, and I earned 0 experience. Right now, if I was to go look at this NFT on OpenSea and check my damage, you would see that whatever my total strength went down by 3, because the API that the NFT is looking at actually points directly to our database, reading it, read only, of course, so it can't modify it, but you can read that data. And so the cool thing is I just played a gasless game, but the actual NFT, this very Starship right here, was just updated, for, if I was to sell this Starship immediately without repairing it, now I have 3 damage. It's a part of, the ship. The way we say it in universe, this is just, their trial, it's low power damages. So my ship isn't actually destroyed. My ship is totally fine, but it did take a little bit of damage. So I would have to now go back to the hangar, choose that Starship, which I believe was this one. Yep. And then I need to go to the repair center here, and then I'm just going to repair Max and repair my Starship. So yeah, you can see there 3 points of damage, and now my Starship is repaired. So if I was to go refresh the metadata on OpenSea, now you'd see my Starship has 0 damage, and all of that stuff happens so quickly. There's not that submitting a transaction, waiting for it to update, all that stuff. But I own this NFT, so nobody can take this NFT from me. If I want to sell it or transfer it, I will be submitting a transaction on the blockchain to authorize the transfer of that NFT to another user. So it is, it's very secure. We're taking both, both use cases together and making kind of a nice cohesive interface. So
very impressive. Yeah. But
I don't know if that answered your question.
yeah, definitely. I can see now why you guys are so confident about the project, because there's a lot speaking behind it. In terms of survival and sustainable success in the crypto space in the near future. But yeah, listing on the right exchanges, especially major exchanges, helps definitely to increase the token price. And is a form of marketing. So where can we buy the token, and what plans do you have for listing on major CXs or DXs?
Yeah, absolutely. So the token is just about to go through our launch. We have actually quite a lot of launch partners. You can see them on our website. We have a couple major tier 1s that we're about to announce. We also have tier 2 launch pads that have officially signed on with us, and that will be available on our website. So if you're looking to get into the pre-sale for season 2 of Warp, definitely check our website, our Twitter, all that stuff, and that will let you guys know where to get them. As far as where we're going to be listing the token itself, we are still kind of in final negotiations. You're right in the sense that where it's listed and the volume that DEX or that checks can create is very important, and so that's why we're making those final decisions. It is highly likely we're going on PancakeSwap on BSC. One thing I will mention, the NFT Starships are multi-chain. So you can buy, sell, use Starships on any chain and play with other users regardless of what chain you're on. But the actual token itself will be exclusively on BSC. So that means if you want to buy the token to deposit it into the Starport and then use it for fuel or upgrades or battles or whatever, you'll need to first buy it on BSC and then deposit it into the Starport. But as I mentioned, you could be on Polygon or Phantom or whatever, buy a Starship, claim your daily credits, and never have to interact with the token at all because you're staying inside of the Starport. So that's a nuance, I guess, to help make sure your users understand. But yeah, so we'll be on BSC. As far as centralized exchanges, we're actually because of some of the tier 1 launch pads we have, as well as our venture capital partners and our investors, we have connections to some major centralized exchanges. Far as at this moment right now, we're not planning on launching on a centralized exchange for the launch of season 2. We're going to be staying primarily on a DEX, just because we are a rapidly expanding project with some really cool partners and some really cool technical partners. but also we don't want to overextend ourselves a little too quickly.
Yeah.
However, you guys, of course, DYOR and check us out as a team, all that stuff before you invest. But you can see kind of the quality of the product that we have and what
Definitely.
we've built and what we're doing. And so as we expand and grow, a centralized exchange listing is absolutely on the table for us.
Yeah.
I know a lot of projects promise that, but we have, there's a lot going for us as a project in terms of who we're connected with and what we're building. And so when that time comes, it will be relatively easy for us to pull the trigger and then to be able to list. But all of that stuff will be on our Twitter, on our official channels to let people know where, when, and how that's going. But for the time being, yeah, get in on a launch pad and get, you can buy into the token and then we'll let everybody know where the actual listing is going to be. Right now, we're just looking at listing in a single DEX for launch, and then growing from there. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be on all the, this different DEX and this different DEX, and then arbitrage opportunities and all that sort of stuff. And I think really for the game environment, we're trying to keep things relatively simple to where, hey, you got one place, you buy the token, this is it for right now. You have one place where you play the game, this is it right now. And we think that just avoiding, creating too much complexity in terms of the networks and all the stuff, it definitely helps. So
yeah, that's another thing that can discourage, the users. It's the over complexity, the complexity where it shouldn't really be complex. So I quite like the idea, of being able to buy the token only in one place. We can give clear information where to get it, how to get it, etc. So no confusion there. But it looks like the game is for everyone, but what are the requirements and qualifications for playing Warp games, and who is eligible? And is there a step-by-step guide or tutorial available for those new people in the Warp game?
Yeah, great questions. Yeah, I'll start with the last one first. Our tutorial is just about to launch. I actually sent you in our Telegram chat the link to that, and so that's live right now. It's an unlisted video. It's about to go public, and that will walk users through the entire ecosystem for launch and get them kind of familiar with stuff. Of course, we always have our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord that's available for people who need help, need further assistance. But I would say it's relatively self-explanatory. Clicking around and trying a couple things will pretty much get you used to it. It's not a incredibly complex ecosystem to navigate. That being said, technical requirements, not really any. Again, we built this all in a web environment and it runs well on mobile, tablet, and desktop. If you have a very, very old computer or a very slow internet connection, you'll probably have some issues, but you're going to be having issues with everything else in a modern web environment anyway, so it's not quite a barrier of entry, I would say. But you don't have to, there's no fancy graphics cards or modern phones that you have to run it. It's very performant, which you guys saw as I was doing the quick demo. But in terms of actually playing the game, until we make our announcement about the Pioneer class Starships, which is our season 2 exclusive Starship, right now, the barrier of entry is you must have a Starship, and whether you're buying a new one from the factory like I showed you, or you're buying a used one from the shipyard, totally up to you, but you can't really do anything unless you have the Starship, even if you have tokens. And the Starships are the only component of our ecosystem that require you to spend either the network native tokens. So if you're on Polygon, you can buy a Starship using Matic or DAI. If you're on Binance, it's BNB, etc. So you can use that, but you can't use Warp tokens themselves to buy Starships. So it does kind of require a little bit of that capital investment, mostly just because if users can buy Warp Starships, then we get kind of a cascading inflation problem where they just buy more Starships that earn more to buy more, so that sort of thing. Right now, you can upgrade a Starship using Warp tokens, refuel it. Literally everything else in the ecosystem uses a Warp token, but you have to buy the Starship with a network native token or a stable coin. But other than that, I mean, it's there's not really a lot of barriers of entry, and we're looking at radically expanding our ecosystem. One of the cool things is that because we're multi-chain and because we have a presence on all these different chains, that means we have presence with all those different communities. And so as we introduce factions and guild models in season 2.5 or season 2.5 update, we're going to be able to create environments where projects come into the game as that project. So we have like Project Gajira, which is like this really cool Gajira NFT series. They can get into a faction battle with like Tomb Finance on Phantom, or the Beefy crew, or any of those these cool NFT projects that we have. They're going to be able to come in as those projects, which also gives us great exposure points to the point where we can be like, hey, we're reaching out, like this is BSC week, this is Phantom week, this is Polygon week, whatever it is, and really create a exposure point for those communities to come in, join the Warp community as wherever they came from, and then play the game together as a crew. And so, regarding that barrier of entry, it's because we're multi-chain, we don't have to say, oh, you have to come to BSC to play our game. No, you can play the game from whatever EVM compatible chain you're on, and that's cool. We think that's really cool for our users to be able to watch us grow, as we do. So.
And it also incentivizes, the players to actually be on many different chains, with Warp. So I think that's also quite nice because, all in all, everything comes together to actually make it as accessible and, easy to use for everyone, which I personally love because you often see, the over complexity, which I have mentioned earlier. But the NFT hype is still going on. And now everyone thinks NFTs are really the future for many real world issues. So I'd like to ask you, do you plan to create your own marketplace for Warp?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, talked a little bit about the shipyard obviously is our own marketplace that's live and running right now. And then we have the merchant ships that will come to the docking ports that is basically its own internal NFT marketplace. What I would love to do specifically is to have Warp be an exposure point for other projects to become known. So if again, we're kind of in the beginning, the foundational stages of Warp, growing our ecosystem. It's our second season, so it's we don't have a lot of history. But as we grow and as our daily user count grows and as we offer more features, that could become a really cool melting pot for exposure to other communities. So if we have an NFT project that, for example, wants to launch with Warp, then we can do it where we bring in our merchant ship, and this is, hey, this NFT project, this GameFi project, whatever it is launching on Warp, and users can come in, and whether or not they have a ship, they can still purchase NFTs through the merchant ship, that's docked at the starport. I just think that's really cool, and so whether those are utility NFTs or art NFTs or whatever it is, like we're totally open to that sort of stuff. And that, I think, is one of the cool things about our project. Everybody's very familiar with some of the positive and negative hype regarding NFTs. I think NFTs are just great for the utility. They don't have to be this meme thing where everybody buys and trades them and then sells them and everybody completely forgets about them a month later. These Starship NFTs are the keys to our ecosystem, and you have to have one to play, but they're also a growth opportunity for you to invest in it, upgrade it, grow it, its experience, all that sort of stuff in the long run. And I think that's kind of a not unique take on NFTs, but just also more of a long approach, where the NFTs is it offers utility. It's not just a hype thing. It literally is it provides value to our ecosystem, and without it, I think our ecosystem would be a little bit less valuable. If the Starships were just things that exist in our database, that's not as cool as being able to say, no, this is you maintain the ownership of this. You can see its ownership on your wallet in third-party wallet lookups. That I think is really cool. It's bigger than us in a sense. So will Warp NFTs be around in 20 years from now for archaeologists to discover? I don't know. That'd be cool. I doubt it. But I just love that longevity, and want that to be a core part of our product.
Yeah, I agree. I think people don't really understand what NFTs are used for because, it all started as, that, quick and easy way to, invest in crypto and etc., getting your own, say, monkey or whatever picture you're getting. But it is all about the ownership. And of course, in the internet, it's quite hard to actually assign the ownership to anyone given the rights. And NFT come actually, as a savior right here. But going into the last question, I think, what are your plans for the IDO, TG dates, listings? Can you tell a bit more about it?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I'm the worst at talking about dates and all of that stuff because I'm the creative guy. I love talking about this, but when it comes to the specifics, this is where the rest of the team covers my back. I would say the best thing regarding dates, it is September 14th, and I believe our IDO starts next week on the 19th, I think. Gosh, I should have had this prepared. I am so sorry. But I would say the best thing is, make sure to follow the Warp Twitter. We're on Twitter. You can look us up on Warp Bond or go to our website, warp.game, and you can see the Twitter, Discord, Telegram links. All of the information regarding the launch pads, our NFT pre-sale, the actual ecosystem launch date, all that stuff is being heavily communicated on those social channels. And as you know, it can change at any second. So I can tell you this is exactly what's happening, and then by the time this video posts, it's out of date. So make sure to just pay attention to what's happening on our official channels, and that will really help, I think, you guys get in. But I would say, just regarding the IDO and stuff, like this is a really cool like people always like, what's it like to develop in a bear market? Like, I'm like, developing in a bear market is the same as developing in a bull market. I'm not looking at the market and going, wow, I'm not going to show up to work today because the market's down. Like, we're developing a cool product that has the legs to grow and become something really cool and unique. And I could care less as to what the market's doing. Yeah, obviously I want all of us to make money and nobody to lose money. But at the same time, like, when you're buying into Warp, whether you're buying the token or you're buying a Starship or you're buying both, you're really buying into the vision that we have as a project to grow into a much, much larger and well-connected ecosystem. You know, if I hate to say it, but like, if this is what we're doing during the bear market, imagine what we could do during a bull market. You know, like, I would say conditions are not ideal, but also I'm not basing this project and what we do as a team on what the market's doing. We're building something really cool because this is our dream project, and I want to be doing this 10 years from now. You know, I want Warp to be a place where people are connected on web and on mobile, where we have VR things. You know, I mentioned my VR background. Like, you know, we can do all of that sort of stuff, but we're doing it in stages and we're doing it in seasons and season rollouts. And so that, I think, is where, you know, when you're investing in this project, you really are looking at this is a real cool growth thing. And I, you know, obviously there's people who day trade our token, like, go for it. You know, that's awesome. But, you know, we as a team, like, our tokens are vested for 3 years and with a 1-year cliff. So I'm not going to get any tokens for 12 months after launch, and even then it's going to take 2 years for them to drip to me. So, like, I'm in it for the long haul. You know, I can't pull my cash out quick and be gone. You know, I had one of the guys was like, how is Warp not a scam? And I'm like, or like, describe how your product is not a scammy product. So I'm like, just look at it. Like, look at the website. We put so much time, energy, and love in it. If I wanted to do a scam, I've spent way too much effort doing this, you know. So again, if this is the quality of the product that we're making right now in what I would arguably call the early stages, then it's just going to get better and better, you know. And that's what I hope the community who comes in and look at Warp says, yeah, this is a product that's going to get better and better, and I'm going to buy my ship or a couple of ships, and I'm going to play the game, and I'm going to hold on to them. And if the game gets boring, that's fine. I'll come back in a month when season 2.5, and then, you know, 3 months when season 3 releases, and play a bit and upgrade my Starship. And that's kind of what I want the community to come back in and do, is like, I got my ship, it's awesome, I'm going to keep going, you know. And that, I think, is the investing potential that I offer to you and your community. Is, yeah, like, this is a cool project that has a lot of legs to grow, and we'd love you to join us.
Yeah,
so, I did not answer your question, but that was a great idea.
Yeah, I personally think, you know, just, you know, talking to you, how passionate you're about it, and, you know, it does seem like you guys have everything figured out. You know, the key, I think, is, you know, the releasement of the following seasons, which, you know, makes Warp quite fresh all the time. And on top of that, I can see you've took part in making a game that you personally would like to play. And that's something I personally, value, is that, you know, a lot of people are just making crap and just releasing it for the clout, you know, but you guys do look, it does look like, you know, you definitely want to create a game that you would just love. So I think that is just amazing. But guys, please remember about the social media, because they're extremely important. They're all going to be in the description, all the links for you guys to discover Warp. And yeah, I encourage you guys strongly to discover them, because they have so much to offer. They have some amazing technological usage that you wouldn't think of in just a project like this. But yeah, they are doing so much better than many other projects with, you know, bigger budgets and everything. So I think it's just the genuity and the passion behind it that, you know, strikes to me. But I think we could just leave it at it then. So please, guys, again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research and etc. But yeah, that is what I think about Warp, and I think they are going to be huge very quickly. Not just, you know, with the luck, but also with the hard work they're putting behind it. It's just gonna pay off. But yeah, again, all the links in the description, and I just will see you soon. So thank you so much, Call Me Jace, for explaining about Warp, and I will see you next time. So see you and bye.
Bye.